Good morning, everyone. It is a wonderful Saturday morning, and I'm very excited to talk to you today about mushrooms. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of my passions. To cook them, eat them, watch them grow. They are truly amazing. And we've been really successful of growing a few different mushroom species, and I would like to share those experiences with you. I'm going to show you some pictures and some short videos about mushrooms and talk to you about them a little bit. Enjoy the show. What you can see here is a freshly harvested wine cup mushroom. These are young ones, and you can see that they have not opened yet, and these just been out of the ground just a few minutes before I took this picture. You can see some additional pictures about freshly picked wine cap mushrooms. They are truly delicious. They grow beautifully in the garden. Some of these wine cap mushrooms, as you could see, they are bigger, and the caps on some of them are more open. I use them the same. At some point we had so many mushrooms that I sliced them up and dried them or froze them for future use. This is an additional wine cap mushroom. You can see the size compared to my hand. They can grow humongous, as large as actually a plate. They are amazing. Another picture of a wine cap mushroom, and see how big they are. Freshly picked wine cap mushrooms, you could see that they are under an evergreen tree because you see all the little needles on them. And when they start producing, there's so many and they open so quickly that you have to pick them pretty quick. Otherwise, they just open up, and they are still delicious, but the taste is a little bit different once they are bigger and they opened up. Here you see the wine cap mushroom actually in the bed where it was growing. We used straw, and it seemed to really enjoy it. Also, we built a cover for it so animals don't get into it. Mushrooms are lovable for many animals, including snails and slugs, and many of small critters as well, like chipmunks, and I was told that many wild animals, including deer, loves mushrooms, so we made sure that they are protected. There's another picture of a mushroom kind of growing out of the side. Interestingly, most of them were starting to grow out in the side and then spread to grow out more in the middle. Little close-up of a vine cap mushroom growing out of the straw. There's also wood chips, and as you can see, the little needles mixed in. Close-up of another vine cap mushroom. And now what you can see is a pink oyster mushroom growing in straw. We were able to grow a lot of pink oyster, but not as much as the vine cap, and they are more delicate and they go really quickly and you have to pick them, otherwise they go also bad pretty quickly. This pink oyster mushroom decided to grow out of a compost that we thought that the pink oyster was not successful, but it grew out. Unfortunately, I didn't harvest that in time because the next few days after I went down, it already dried out, but it looks gorgeous and beautiful over here, so I wanted to share this picture. Here you can see the pink oyster mushroom bed, and it's mostly straw, and we did add some hazelnut pieces to prevent the snails from eating it and the slugs. Here you can see a close-up of the pink oyster mushroom in her bed. Another close-up of the pink oyster mushroom. They were really delicious. Cut them up, just sauteed them in a little onion, and I was also able to dry and freeze a few that I still have in my freezer. More close-up of the pink oyster. Also, it is wonderful to harvest and share mushroom with friends and family, and everybody gets really excited about trying different type of mushrooms that you might not be able to buy in a store. Here you can see a pink oyster mushroom that was freshly harvested from the garden. Here is the pink oyster mushroom once it's cut up in a plate and ready to be sauteed. Here you can see some cut up wine cap mushroom that was a little bit over ready when I picked it, but I used it the same. One interesting thing is that it really stains once it's open up, so be careful because everything gets black. Tastes wonderful though. Here is me holding one of the biggest mushrooms that I picked as far as vine caps go. Here's a little sample harvest from vine caps, pink oyster, apples, and Asian pears from our garden. Another picture of vine cap mushroom, and you can see there are some little ones and something started to eat them. Probably a snail or a slug, and you can see how the big one opened up just in a few days before I had a chance to harvest it. Some additional angles of vine cap mushroom growing in the bed. And these are all pretty ripe, they are pretty open. Now some of the mushroom, of course, they decided not to grow in the bed, but go under the bread and on the side. But those were lovely surprises, and harvested and ate them just the same. I love this picture. It feels like a little rebellious mushroom. I'm just gonna grow where I want. Here are pictures of some additional little rebellious mushrooms that grow outside of the bed. Little harvest from our garden. Pears, apples, tomatoes, pickles, rhubarb, mint, and the vine cap mushrooms on the corner. Now this mushroom decided to grow together with a tomato plant in one of our little beds. This mushroom was not planted, and because I was not sure of the identification, I'm still learning about mushrooms. I just let it grow, but it was really beautiful, so I took a picture of it. Here's a close-up on the mushroom that decided to grow together with our flowers and tomatoes. And if by any chance anybody know what type of mushroom this is, I would love to hear that. I really truly love the mushrooms, and I hope you enjoyed these little pictures of them. And now I wanted to show you that we were able to grow some wonderful, wonderful black oyster mushrooms. They called black pearl, and we were able to grow them inside the house. This was the first time that we purchased a block that was already had the mushroom mycelium in it. And once we received that, it only took 2 weeks, and as you can see in a minute, amazing mushroom experience. This is the picture of the black pearl oyster mushroom when it was about a week old. As you can see, there's a ton of little mushroom heads, and it's really humid in the Pacific Northwest, so I only had to water it once with about a tablespoon of water. Right, here you can see the tiny little black pearl mushrooms that are in the bottom, and you can see all the big ones that it took about 2 weeks to create these wonderful big clusters of mushrooms that grow on the mushroom block. And as you can see, there's many little ones that are still there. So I cut down, since I took this video, 2 of the big clusters, and there's a lot of little ones that are still growing. And I'm very excited to be able to grow mushrooms in my home, and it was really easy and a lot of fun to watch them grow every day. I hope you enjoyed watching growing mushrooms with me. If you like this video, please make a comment, or if you have any questions, please make a comment. I'm still learning about mushrooms. Also did mushrooms in different beds, and did plugs in wood for shiitake mushroom that we're still waiting. It's been implanted more than a year ago. And some mushrooms were not as successful as other ones. Our yellow oyster mushrooms never came up, as well as we tried lion's mane, planted them twice, and we did not succeed. But we are going to try again because mushrooms are just a lot of fun. There's also a few more mushrooms that I'm waiting to come up that I tried in a block. So once I have them, I will share them with you. Mushrooms are a wonderful experience, and it's a lot of fun, and I hope you try them too and share your experiences. Thank you for playing mushrooms with Gabriella. Until we meet next time, take care. Bye for now.